this hit out?
Well, look, for us, obviously, this is our first team event, so we just talked about just embracing the opportunity, embracing all the uncertainty that comes with playing against an opposition we don't know, with players we might not have played much with before without any real structures, and then just going and playing the highest level intensity we can.
I think you're going to need that, D, mate, because we've just seen a fantastic grab for Tokyo to take first blood, so I'll let you go.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
As we welcome Avril back to the stream. Avril, we just had a chat with Steve Wright, head coach of the Firetails, and we were lucky enough to witness a fantastic layout goal. I think it's safe to say, if that's any indication of how the rest of this game will go, we're in for an absolute cracker.
No, absolutely. I'm keen to see what the Mavericks have to really slice and dice through the Firetails. I mean, we know it's early in the season for the Firetails, but Wilt is not too far away. Home ground advantage in Gold Coast this year. But yeah, we'd love to see how all of the interstate players are coming together for the Firetails.
And obviously this isn't our first time seeing the Mavericks on the stream, but and it's only been 1 point, but even that 1 point, the teams tend to lift when they're playing against representative teams. That was a level of higher intensity than we've seen probably in any of their previous games. So very, very excited to see this. And great that, as Steve mentioned, this is their Firetails' kind of first competitive hit out. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go. Lucy Della. Samar Dhaliwal takes a big step, and now she's going to stick a long flick. It's floating. It's going to sit up. And the D is caught. Now the Mavericks hemmed in on the sideline a bit. Moves a nice one out, but shows a bit too much of it, and that's Lucy Della, but she had to go over the top. That's on over Ritan.
Foul called.
Mary Ito.
As expected.
Look, it's a foul call. It is uncontested. Yeah, okay. I don't think Lucy was able to get that D without causing the foul. Definitely got the disc first, but if you kind of can only do it by initiating contact with another player, it goes back. So, reset. Return with the disc. Goes wide. And another foul call.
Might be a strip.
Yeah, Monchi or Nana Kanochi went to throw, hit from behind. I think it was Sally Yu, was it? Yeah, it was
that's
Sally.
It, yep.
So starting again. And now a lot of movement. This one's gone long, but the wind is going to help this sit up. And
another layout grab on a lovely flat huck. That was beautiful. I think that might be
Naya Suzuki.
Yep, that's it.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm also loving the atmosphere with the crowd as well. Everyone getting involved on the sidelines, creating a fantastic atmosphere.
Big time. And look, the Australian team, you probably don't want to be going down 2-0. However, if your opponents are scoring by laying out in the end zone, if that's what they have to bring to score a goal, it means that you're certainly putting enough defensive pressure on there. So this is an excellent start to the game, and as you say, Avril, there's a real buzz and energy. Obviously, Mavericks, everyone's happy to have them here, but once the national colours come out, people start getting around the Australians, but that is not dampening the Mavericks' spirits at all. They have come ready to play. Early days.
Are we doing a 60-minute time slot for today as well for this game?
We are. I wished it would be a little higher. As we see a controversial blade. Did it land in?
Yeah, I think it might have, yeah. Flick blade as well. Flick pull blade by Kaeda. Showing off her skills.
So I think this is a very predetermined set here. I think you're going to see some kind of poach. It looks quite matchy, but they're all sitting off their players. I think there's a little bit of junk element to this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a setup play to try and get a block there.
Nice inside break.
Inside break.
Yeah, this is Prentice. Alex Prentice goes to Ma.
Karima. And they're
Keep
really
going.
working
Ma
it well
gets
through
back.
the middle of the field. Oh,
And
Karima
now
goes for a
Ma
big
centre.
hark. And that's towards, I believe, Jess Parks there, but just a little too
correct.
far out in front.
Yeah, correct. So the for anyone looking at the team uniforms, a little bit agricultural from the Firetails, purely because they don't actually have their kits yet. So they're wearing their training kits, but to try and be kind to the stream and the commentators, we've gaffer taped on their player numbers basically. So don't be concerned. The proper ones are on their way, but for now, this is what we're rolling with as the Mavericks check the disc in.
The tape's been working well with all the strapping tape for the name tags as well throughout this tournament, so reliable tape. Here we go. Oh, and a lovely layout save by Mavericks to keep possession of the disc. And we're swinging it back across to that far side, and Yoshida goes for a big flat huck. Have we got enough air on it? I think that might be just too far out in front for Tanuko.
Didn't give up on it though, did she? Like,
No, she
it was sitting up, but didn't give up until that disc was on the ground. You love to see it.
And see that bid from Retan again. Well done to track that little bit above her head as well, which made it quite challenging.
So Karima will be coming up. She has the disc. There's a long bomb that goes early. 2 Japanese players under it, but really well taken. A lot of courage. Unfortunate turnover immediately after. That was, I believe that was Natalie Otten taking that grab between those 2 players, which harder than it looked, because look, you had a Japanese player peel off, but she tracked it really well. Really lovely low flick, just stays in bounds. Thinks about going on the flick now, just safe backhand, resets it to Retan. Moves it out to the far side. That's Ponzu. Back to Retan. Just got caught underneath it a little bit. Okay, so a chance for the Firetails just to take a breath here, have a think about it. Some of the offense has been a little bit more chaotic than they probably would have liked. So it'll be Jess Parks now coming to the disc. Nice early move. Karima goes up the line, is well covered. Instead, back to Georgia Egan Griffiths. Egan Griffiths throws a nice floaty one out to Parks. Parks pointing, doesn't see it, doesn't like it, engages Griffiths. Griffiths back, looks for the swing not coming. Has to engage Parks again. Parks shakes, bakes, really well covered on the dump, eventually gets free. So it's all the handlers doing it at the moment. No, nothing really happening from a cutting perspective for Australia. So it's Parks, Egan Griffiths. Now they get a little bit of respite. Olivia Carr starts bringing some motion. Egan Griffiths moving it around to the far side. Just getting every second pass. Parks, great grab. Looked a little bit awkward, but she did really well to hold it in. One really strong cut. I think that's Danny Alexander, but Egan Griffiths goes up the line. And that's a goal. Team Australia on the board.
Ooh.
Thanks to Natalie Otten. It was unconventional, but we got there. But, you know, to be fair, at the same time, that's exactly why the Firetails have come to play this tournament. Their coach said right at the start, this is their first time together. It's as much about gelling and working out their structures and putting everything they've been drilling in training camps into practice. So far, so good.
Yeah, for sure. And again, a bit contrasting with the Mavericks having just won Japan Club Nationals in November, and obviously the Firetails just getting started in their season. Teams at different ends of their season.
So I don't know if you'll know this, Avril, but someone maybe on the stream might, so please drop the comments in the YouTube. Does the Japanese team, like the national team, does that work the way that the American teams used to work, where basically whoever won nationals became Team America and then they grabbed a couple of pickups, or do they run a selection kind of camp similar to what we do?
No, I believe they now run a selection-style camp. I am aware that with Tokyo Mavericks, a few of their players were unavailable for the here we go, as they score a lovely quick goal. But I'm aware that with the Chilean Mavericks training camp last weekend, a few Mavericks unable to attend that camp because they were at a Japan national team event camp. So I suspect it might be a bit more similar to the Australian system these days.
And as you said, Avril, while we were talking through that, a fantastic pull reception play. That's Dole. Sends an absolute peach to Reza Ishii. And that keeps the Mavericks just with their noses in front, 3-1. The Firetails starting to get into their groove. But as you can hear, you can probably pick up through the mics, there's a lot of positivity, a lot of energy.
Plenty of chatter. I think the more energy the Mavericks have, the better they play. So let's hope for that to continue throughout the game.
And whilst there's a lot of patriotism here, there is also a lot of high fives and support from the crowd getting around the Mavericks team. I think everyone understands just what a massive undertaking it is to... were they here for a week, did you say, Avril?
Yeah, quite a few. I think 8 or 10 players came or arrived last weekend. So they had a combined training camp with Chile last weekend, and then obviously training during the week, and then the tournament this week. So not everyone was able to attend, but yeah, certainly a few of them have been in Australia for about 10 days or so.
Cool. All right, Lucy Della and Caitlin Grange getting it done, and now it's Sally Yu. Does a little pushy back to Grange. I think they're running an eye. Oh no, there was a zig when they should have zagged, and Lucy Della.
That's unfortunate.
It's just one of those, bad timing decisions, but also in terms of field position, turning it over at the dump rather than downfield.
Let's see if the Mavericks can make them pay for that unfortunate mistake. It's coming.
Is it in?
Rio just ran out of space at the back.
Bit of a let off, but Lucy's not going to muck around. Della's marching it back up to the end zone line. A little bit of wind. Samar doing really well to get some separation. Lucy Della can't get the break off. Now engages the dump.
It's very nice dump defense there. And Mavericks at the turn again. Beautiful dump defense to set up that intercept downfield. And Mavericks taking their time. Just playing a bit safe. And then, that was well done. Another example of great dump defense there.
Yeah.
We've got the Firetails taking it up the far side. I believe that's Angela Pigeon there, who has been playing under 24s as well as in the Opens female Australian rep team. We've got Sally Yu up the sideline, knocking on the door now, and just straight to the cone. Is that Anna Rosler?
It is Anna Rosler, Yep, correct. So, Firetails stay in touch.
But not without a big scare, really. The Mavericks have 2 bites at that.
Yeah, I think the difference, and to give the Firetails credit, they fought fire with fire at one point there as well. But I'd say the difference from where we're sitting is the pressure around the dump. If you're looking at the turnovers, they're happening on probably 6, 7, 8 counts, where they're borderline bailout throws. You know, Lucy's just before, because the 2 dump looks, neither one worked because of the defensive pressure. Yeah. I'd say majority of the turnovers are coming as a result of just, the agility and the pace that a lot of these Japanese players have on their first 3 steps. They've got such a low centre of gravity. So, taking 1 or 2 steps isn't going to get you free. You need to really use the length in your legs, commit to the cut. If you don't get it, that's fine. But I think that's, and that's a big step up. That's a big step up between League Ultimate and Nationals, and then Nationals to international representative play. All those simple things that you might just be able to, put a jab step in and get free at League, it doesn't play here. What the Firetails have working in their credit is they got that final turnover themselves by putting pressure around the dump. So I'm pretty pumped. 2-3, it's game on. I'll try and get wind of what Steve's message to the team was.
Yeah, and I think another point to make is that Tokyo Mavericks have been playing together for most of 2 days basically now. So they're kind of tournament hardened. They're in with that intensity already, whereas Firetails probably taking a few points to kind of warm up to this environment.
And for those familiar with, or if you've been tuning into our Japanese stream, unfortunately we don't have that today, but we do have a very talented young man, a bilingual man named Fraser. Fraser, you were sitting in the timeout circle with the Mavericks. What was the message?
Okay, hey guys. So I've been working with the Mavericks over this weekend, just helping them with translating and stuff. What's really interesting is that the Mavericks play in a very different style to regular Japanese teams. They're a lot more free. In Japan, there's lots of rules around Ultimate and where you can cut. And the Mavericks are really trying to break that. And while it may look to us like a very Japanese style, to them it's not. And so they're trying to really use their dynamic playing style to win this game. We're just hoping that the Australian team doesn't catch on and realise that it is not so Japanese and more Western, and then maybe they'll have a little bit more help defending that. Let's see that again. Oh! Nice grab.
That's an incredible grab by Rico, sandwiched by two Firetails.
Yeah, at the top of her grab at a jump. One thing we were commenting on was just how much defensive pressure around the dump the Japanese team are bringing in, how that's yielding turnovers. Is that a focus for this team? Is it just something innately they've done very well?
Well, it's interesting. Oh yeah, nice.
Beautiful shape on that.
It's interesting because in Japan they don't like to face mark. They think because they're so good at throwing, a face mark is almost useless because they can just throw around it. So they play a very different style around the dump, and you'll notice that they're always looking at the disc and knowing where the disc is and what the next play is coming to. So you'll see that and notice that over the game.
Well, you must be happy with the start so far, 4-2. A lot of intensity. That's a lovely flat throw. That's Hikari, I think, catching the goal. And you must love the energy. I mean,
absolutely.
Not only from the team, but everyone on the sidelines getting around, showing appreciation for, it was a pretty substantial commitment. It's not a local trip. It's great to see that even after quite a few days of playing, their spirits are so high, and they've certainly come out ready to take a scalp against Australia's best.
Absolutely. I think it'll be between, the Mavericks have got the team connections and the culture already, but they're tired.
Yep.
And the Firetails are fresh, but they haven't quite built the connections they will over the season yet. So it's kind of going to be a battle between that, and we'll see if the Firetails can get those connections and that chemistry going. We've got some interviews coming up a little bit later with some of the English-speaking Mavericks that I'm really excited for. But for now, I'm going to hand you guys back over to the regular commentators, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Good
Just
lad.
started dog out. Thanks, Fraser. Just spotted dog out the back. Another fluffy white small dog to add to the list.
Yeah, I don't care how high profile the game is. We're always keeping count of the dogs. So Lucy Della again seems to be running a lot of the offense through her, and why wouldn't you? Gets started out nicely. I think that's Angela Pigden. Back to Della. Moving it up the field. Is that Danny? I think that's Danny Alexander. Back to Lucy Della. To Georgia Egan-Griffiths. Georgia looks flick, throws the up the line flick. They wouldn't mind getting it off the line a little bit, but again, here's where that dump defense is just so hard, but G does well. Now at the end zone line. Probably wants to swing it out, does. To you-know-who, Lucy Della. They're not in yet. See Caitlin Grange. Back to Della, and there's the open throw, and I'm pretty sure that's Danny Alexander. Shake of the hand. And nice work. Well done from Australia, because they got hemmed in on a couple of the corners there, but still had the courage to swing it out, open to a much nicer space. Good grab, little reflex grab from Della. Danny Alexander still getting it done. One of the more mature players on this team, but an absolute threat anywhere on the field. I really hope it is Danny. Yeah, Yeah, it is. Would have been awkward if I was calling the wrong player, but anyway. 3-4.
No, it's a tricky one when we don't really have any numbers to go by, but no, you're doing great, Abby.
All right, so Caro with the pull. Wind starting to pop up a little bit, so you'll see that disc will trail right to the corner cone because it's blowing away from the camera. And it looks a little junky. It is a little junky, so Mavericks will want to try and spring this trap, and now they've got the numbers. Australia recover well. And now it's being moved around. This is Luna. Luna goes upstairs with the hammer, safe enough to Ugai. Ugai to Chori. Chori, Ugai. Only now have the Australians sort of got a count on with Reza. Everything else, they're moving it really quickly. Lots of low, direct throws. Ugai, great step around. They're not necessarily making much territory, but they're not throwing under pressure. Dole now gets one a little bit through. Back to Reza, so they're using all of their players here. This is Dole, cutting then from behind. Comes in Chori. And now they might want to slow things down a little bit. The field's starting to compress. Someone's half a mind to throw the hammer, but this wind's kicking up. I think this is a big factor as to why the Firetails are throwing this junk, which I think now has transitioned. Yeah, you beat me to it.
Oh, it's a big one that's going up to Mavericks and secure the catch. It's very interesting because the way that the Mavericks were tackling the zone that Australia put on was taking what's given and just using their throws to complete it. There wasn't a lot of, generating movement from the back and through the cup. It was very much, and as we see, a lovely celebration there. Mavericks very well known for their laughter and smiles on the end zone line after a score.
Fair bit of air under it. Anna Rosler, who is... She's not short. She'd be knocking on the door of 5'10", I think. Pretty formidable, but that is just sailing just far enough out of her reach where she wasn't actually able to use her height. (5-3), quarter of the way through the game. Sorry, a third of the way through the game. And it will be the Mavericks to pull. Really nice pull. And Australia bringing it in. So it's Jess Parks. Moved back into that handler position. Brittany McCartney. Jess goes up the line. The next cut comes out as the recovery. And that's successful. That's Caitlin Grange. And there's another turnover. So there's just so much pressure around the disc that this Mavericks team is bringing. And it's not only they're getting the turnovers, but just where they're getting the turnovers. They're getting the turnovers in such a powerful position. They're not working it back from their own end zone. They're working it from their own brick mark.
In the centre of the field as well. Maybe a little messy upfield though.
I was about to say that. I'm not sure. Are they running a side stack or an ISO? We're going to see a bid? No. A lot of players
got Kaeda now. Just a little small dump behind to Rio. Yeah, they're very clumpy, aren't they, downfield?
It's chaotic. Yep. We're going to see a stall 9 here.
Oh, fantastic. Loud deal. Was that Caitlin Grange?
That was Grange, yep.
Just getting
well
the fingertips and pushing out the side.
and people talk about game awareness. Caitlin would have known that there's a 7, 8, 9 count and something's probably going up. And so it's always dangerous to take your eyes off your defender. But if you know the disc is about to go up, you need to check in with it. So I think that was a really high kind of Frisbee EQ, we call it, because she didn't want to leave anything to chance of a lucky kind of stall 9 throw going up.
Yeah, for sure. She head checked at the perfect time.
Yeah, so Rosa Wang, fantastic big wide throw. To Simar. And Simar restrains the huck. She could have been within her rights to throw it. Instead, lateral to Jess Parks. Jess gets a lovely wide one. Out. Grange goes up the line, receives it up the line, and then throws a little bit of air under it. I think it's Parks underneath it. Perfect. So Jess Parks using the old handler shoot from the back. Next minute, they're in the middle of the end zone using that trick. Fantastic. Really nice to see. I think early days, but it feels like we're calling Lucy Della, Jess Parks' name. Even Caitlin Grange that point. Got the D, got active, which is nice because that's, I guess, the emerging, we've had people like Danny Alexander and even the Phillipses. We've had them on the scene for so many years, and it's nice to also see this next crop of young, talented female players really taking that next step to, in Lucy's case, it looks like she's running this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's quite a few players who played for the Firetails in the under-24s team who have also been selected on the Opens team, so really exciting. Oh, sorry, Stingrays previously and Firetails now.
I'm glad I get confused with them, and I played on one of them. So I'm like, yeah, okay. You played for it, especially when you put the beach ones in.
Oh, yes.
Because you got all the beach, the irukandjis or
mud crabs,
whatever.
Hammerheads,
mud crab, yeah.
Pie.
Oh, goodness. All right. Georgia Egan Griffiths, nice, big pull. And Australia down on the first pass, pretty much at the brick mark. Looks like they're going with a straight up force here. They managed to move it out. It's to Hakari. Low pass, but picked up off the bootlaces by Yana Gagara. I'll try and get that name right next time, but anyway. Now Australia playing some good dump pressure. It's back. Yana Gahara.
I reckon you can go Rico there.
Step out back in. Yep. Lovely flat back, flick. And now a loopy one.
Ooh, is she going to track that? Got her hands to it, but fingers didn't quite wrap around the rim. That's Rico there again. Yep. Featuring strongly at in this point.
Yeah, Olivia Carr doing really well just to that inferred pressure. So you had Olivia Carr, you also had Alexander Patterson there. So you love to see, even though Patterson, 2 or 3 metres off, doesn't realistically have a bid, but it shows intent. And it also shows the Mavericks team, hey, if you send anything long, we're going to get people underneath it. And it might not be pressure on every throw, but you don't want to be throwing it long over our tall women.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to have to throw very pinpoint hucks if they're going to complete them.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's a fantastic bid.
Well done from G to hold it. Back to Lucy Della. Lovely flat flick. To Georgia Egan Griffiths. Lovely wide gainer. That's Olivia Carr.
The Mavericks player just reaching out and deflecting that disc. Now they're going to start on the end zone line in the corner. See what they can generate here.
Good start.
Across to Dole again. Nice big fakes. And I think that might be Rico. Big hut to Luna. Hikari. And that's a score for Tokyo Mavericks.
That's a big one. That's a big one because that's one of those old 5-5 versus 4-6 points. And Australia with shots, Australia with it nigh on the end zone line. So they'll be a bit flat about that, but we're only just approaching the halfway point of this game.
Yeah, some fantastic pressure there, just on that lateral pass. You can see the height difference as well. Oof.
And
Live
thank
car
you for
there.
Dennis Tran did confirm what you spoke about earlier around the Japanese national process in terms of do they send their top team or do they have a selection event? It is a selection event. So as we'll start to see, crowd building. We've got a crowd on the hill. We've got a crowd on pretty much both sidelines, predominantly the other sideline. There are no other games going on at the moment, so everyone really keen to see, I guess, the best of the best go at it and see the Firetails take the first step in what's going to be a very exciting campaign on their home deck. And the Mavericks with a great opportunity to see how they're going against some of the best. And that's definitely a border. Yeah, I didn't see the other one, but I could see the border collie as we see the huck go up. So this is important because we are playing half at 7. So Mavericks score, they take half. But this one will be a brick, first brick of the day.
Eunice Chung bringing it to the brick mark. She does a nice inside backhand, but fortunately not completed, just bounce out of the hands. What might be Rosa Wang. And now, again, a bit of a short field for Mavericks. An opportunity to take half at 7-4. Oh, and they go for the big flat huck. Oh! Kaeda almost laying out into the water tanks. Oh, I think she just
ran a little ginger
out the back. Yeah, might be a bit winded.
Oh, that's because you took flight. She could have worn a keg. She could have worn a DLSR.
Yeah.
SLR, sorry.
That is bravery. Whew.
It is. Now Australia with another chance now. Prentice. No mark on. Sees enough of a safe shot to Karamar. Kat Smith is storming down the field. Great cut. That draws the space out. We're able to see Prentice back with it. Now Kat Smith's starting to get involved. I think Kat's making a bit of a decision here to play super aggressive, come out of the cut, help generate some of that space. Does well. I think that's Caitlin Grange, is it?
Eunice Chung, I believe.
Eunice, sorry. Yep. Looks at Karamar. Caro wants to go upstairs, instead throws a really nice flat backhand. That's to Anna Roslar. Gets it back to Ma. Ma now goes upstairs with the hammer. Very safe, and that's a goal. Well done. Firetails stay in touch. It's now 5-6.
You can see the hard work. Everyone's taking some deep gasps of air in.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's a really important sign. Like I'm assuming we'll have vast majority, if not all, of the Firetails players here at this camp. So they've got a decent team, but the team's still blowing hard. And I think that just goes to show how much they're putting in. They know that they might play one in every 3 points. So the point that they play, they're going to go flat stick. You know, they really want to leave it all out there. They can rest, they can recover, they can let their teammates take on the next couple of points. But when they're out there, they're going for broke.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to have good depth on your roster. Very nice catch by Angela Pigeon there, who is one of the recent Stingrays in the under-24s, who's now come up to Firetails.
So 5-6, we'll be taking half at 7, so it's starting to get close. See another nice pull. The Australians more riding the wind. Oh, jeez, I almost thought that touched. And see the Mavericks probably a little more stuck, but if they make it work, Freezer Doesn't like the first option. Now it's the Mavericks with a bit of stagnation in their cup, but they still move it through. And a disc has gone up, but it's going to sit under
it's
air
gonna fade
underneath it.
to the right. Ooh,
And there's a foul.
there was foul called earlier in that play.
Yeah, there was a foul on the initial. She was tripped. There was a foul on the initial. Then Samar got the D and then caught, but there was a trip.
I'd expect this to come back really to the thrower.
Yeah, it was just prior to that. I mean, you could see even before the play was finished. It was, I think it was Otten. Yes, Natalie
Some
Otten.
translation assistants arriving on the field now.
Yeah, so you'll see some, and this is, regardless, see the two Australians, So Otten's looking purely at the disc. I mean, both players are. It obviously wasn't anything deliberate, but it did impede her ability to make a play. What I do like seeing is Dhaliwal, as I said before, you want to send something high, you're going to see two Australian jerseys there.
That's it.
Even if you're tripping one of them up. But I think you're right, Avril. I think fair chance it's going to be going back. And I kind of think that's the right outcome, to be honest.
Although with the translation assistance, looks like might be signalling oh no, it is going back. So I think the other advantage, obviously, Australians have a little bit more height on their Japanese opponents. So a lot of those deep shots, again, if they're not pinpoint perfect, they're probably not going to be completed. Everyone finding their position. And Luna, 72 with the disc from Mavericks. Looking for that backwards dump, did well. That's your guy. Playing a 6 stack at the moment. Tariko, 94, who goes for the huck across to Hikari, and that is a beautiful throw into a paddock of space out that fat side. Well done on Mavericks to get that goal after that reset and call.
Hikari is absolutely greased lightning. That is so quick. That is so quick. That's what a way to take half. As we watch it. So the Japanese pretty content not to run a dump. They're not sitting anyone out. But yeah. I mean, Avril, you nailed it before. You were talking about how or maybe it was Fraser. This team have played together for a while. There's a real chemistry. They know what they're going to do. Those two knew where they were going to throw and where they were going to cut before the disc even had reached the thrower's hand. So I think that's just one of those advantages of building that chemistry. And, you know, that's the idea. That's what the Firetails are here to do. They're just obviously at the bottom of that. They're scaling that summit at the moment, whereas the Mavericks are obviously pretty tight.
Yep, and that's half.
So we will take
Tokyo Mavericks 7-5.
Yes, 7-5 to the Mavericks. We will take a very short break, but we've got a very special treat because we will shortly get Fraser and some of the English-speaking Mavericks players for a quick interview. So we will join. We'll see you back in about 30 seconds.
Okay, hello everybody. We're back, it's Fraser, and we're here with some of the Japanese players that speak English. We're going to do a little interview. So firstly, this is Naya. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Naya from Japan.
Nice. And what do you like about Australia?
People in Australia are very kind, and the nature is very beautiful. There is lots of ultimate frisbee in Australia.
Nice. Okay. And then I understand you're on a working holiday. So what is something that you want to do while you're in Australia on your working holiday?
I want to work in a local cafe in Melbourne. I want to beat Ellipsis as a member of Chile. And I want to make lots of friends.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Naya, for your
Thank
interview.
you.
Okay. You can go back to your team now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome back. We have the second half of action of today's showcase game, the Australian Firetails versus the Tokyo Mavericks. I'm joined by my talented bilingual friend Fraser. Fraser, what was the message in the Mavericks camp at halftime?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm back just from the halftime circle. I think I didn't catch everything, but what they're basically trying to do is give their handlers a little bit more space. They feel a little clogged at the moment. The pressure of the Firetails is kind of getting to them, and maybe they're making a couple of rush decisions. Oh, what a play. All right. And so they just want a little bit more space to free up that handler movement so they can generate a bit of flow. I also have another interesting fact about the Mavericks, and that is that they really want to win this game because it will solidify them. Just missed it. It will solidify them in Japan as the national team. If they can beat an international team, then they will have more opportunities in the future for their players to play for Japan, which is really cool. So this game has also got an extra level of importance to it.
I love when showcase games are more than just exhibition games. All right, so we'll call the action. Avril will be joining us from Perth. Obviously, we saw a little bit of a scare and now a double turn. So,
geez, the pressure for the Mavericks really generating some early turns. On the doorstep now. Can she make it work? Need to tidy up the downfield a little bit. Rio with another dive to save the disc. Got pushed a little bit backwards. You can see some of the Mavericks players telling everyone to get back into a stack or formation of some sort. And we've got Pongzu, Tukeda. Back across the middle of the field to Monchi.
Good bid.
A lot of pressure on that. And then, the Mavericks. What a score. What a way to come out at half and take a break at 8-5.
Yeah, and I think so far, like the context that Fraser just gave us, that they're not. This is not just a fun game. I mean, it is a fun game, but it's not just a fun game. Like there's some pride and some ego and some opportunity and some representation on the line. So I think that's why you're seeing, at least from my perspective, that they've gone next level versus when they were playing against a Fuse or a Chaos. In terms of the messages from the Firetails at half, pretty calm. Steve was very logical. He talked about, he acknowledged trying different things, that they were, experimenting, but he said that shouldn't necessarily be at the expense of the intensity once you cross that line and once you're on the field. So he wants to see intensity. He doesn't think that just because they're trying new things, they can't try them at 100%. And then Amanda Fung, who's the part of the assistant coaching team, was really optimistic. Said, look within yourself as players. When they've had a few highlights, and she called out a few players that had nice bids, and said, use that to fuel yourself and to deliver something for the team. So still a lot of optimism in the team. I think there's a lot of this game to go, but they're going to have to match the Firetails, the Mavericks, because right now they're in control. As we see Sally Yu moving it up now, Rosa one.
Yeah, Rosa holding the disc for a little while, but gets it off to Sally Yu, coming into that field space. Karo Ma doing a nice lateral cut. Oh, had a sniff on that. Oh, and then the strip called. Also, just to add to the dog tally, there was a black lab on that last point.
Perfect.
So we've got Karo Ma to bring it in. It's a little congested. Mavericks doing well to really stymie the offense. Oh, she gets a
nice bid.
Little one across.
Caro is itching to throw a hammer.
It's coming. No, safe one to Della. Hooks off Sally Yu. There's a nice undercut here. And just on this sideline now. Looks like the shutter follows down. Oh, and the down the line by Della. Oh, bounces in and out of the hands there.
And that's where Mavericks game awareness. They had a triangle of players by the end of it. And Lucy, I think she did get a hand to it, but you see her head. She probably turns and just out of the corner of her eye sees a Maverick player, and that's maybe just enough to distract her.
That's right. So Maverick starting in this corner.
Oh, yes, I think that's a foot block
by Alex Patterson. Well done.
And you're taking that most of the way up too, I think. Should get a great angle of it here. Some of your best work, Michael.
We've got Della on the sideline now, centering to Karo Ma. Across the field. And back through through hands. Alex Patterson tries to chase it down, but the sideline beats her to it. And a couple of turns in this point already. A little bit frenetic with the pace, I have to admit. Mavericks going for the big shot. There's a fairly high stall count on that. But Rosa Lang snaffles that up. Oh, Karo Ma's going to have to bid. And she's successful in saving that. On this sideline now, across to Lucy Della. In the centre of the field now. And to Sally Yu, another high disc. A bit loopy, but they make it work. Oh, and she's got a flat park. And that's to Liv Carr.
Nice. Nice. And that's the difference in the long games, So we've seen both teams in that in their last possessions. Japan, the Mavericks. I'm going to call them Japan because, based off what Fraser said, they basically become the national team, at least in spirit. They threw it long. The skies were closed there. You had two Firetails in there, took the grab. They go right back the other way, and it's to a one-on-one thrown to the advantage of their teammate. It's a great read because the wind is starting to kick up. And I think that's the difference. And I think, the Mavericks have the upper hand on all things inside, all things under. But you'll start to see the Firetails, I think, flex their muscle a bit around there. Look at that separation there.
Yeah.
That's a very, very safe throw and still, 5 metres inside the end zone.
It's interesting because a few of these throws that came across in the lateral passes were actually a little bit loopy and high. I'm not sure if that was deliberate or a bit of the wind, but certainly a bit more difficult for Mavericks to get a bit on those ones.
Yeah. So 6-8. We have 10 minutes of this game left. I have a feeling it's going to get close. Ugai looks out wide, really wide step out. Count's getting high, gets it reset. It's to Dole. Dole again with a wide step out. Firetails have brought an extra piece of energy here. Dole. Moves it to Reza. Now they're pretty much where they started at this point. Now there's a bit more flow from Rico. Oh, just to the end zone line. That's Dole again. Really intense D. They're protecting that front cone. Counter be getting high now. So she pops one up, but there's a bit under it. Oh!
She caught the disc for the score, but
you guys, she scored the goal. She's over the moon, but her teammate's been poleaxed. So just give us a minute, you guy. I think they're okay. It was just didn't see it coming. Yeah, it's a goal. Everyone's happy.
Oh, goodness me.
I mean, Rico's not happy, but they're hugging it out.
She's still smiling. That's what counts.
All players having eyes for this. Even Kat Smith Samar hands on head.
She almost took a specky on her shoulders in the AFL language.
Yeah. Immediate concern, but they're all okay.
Rico would have took the whole weight through her shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that is tough. That is tough. Can we remember who wore the disc to the throat? Was that a Mavericks player?
I think that was Hannay.
Okay, as long as it's not
number
the same
29,
person.
Yeah. No,
29 it was, okay. All right, because you might just be Hannay's time to go home if that was the case.
Strong
wrap her in cotton wool in the bubble wrap and say, right, Hannay, it's not been your day. We're just going to send you home.
I have to say, Ugai pleases punch with her score. Just couldn't wipe the smile off her face.
Maybe just check in on your team after the guy. Like, she's kind of been cut in half there, mate. So, I mean, yeah, you did well. Don't get me wrong. And it was a big point because it's 6-9 with 8 minutes left. So, if the Firetails, not that it's all about winning or losing, this is, as Steve said, this is their first opportunity to see what works and what doesn't. But it would always feel better to come away with your first hit out with a W. So the pool's up. It looks good if it's going to stay in, but it won't. It was a deep pull. It would have hit it went into the end zone. So the pool's getting better and better.
So we've got Eunice Chung bringing it up, based in Sydney, playing with Rogue this club season, I believe.
Interesting junk set. It's a combination of match and zone.
And again, a lot of pressure on this dumps.
Yeah, exactly.
Forcing them backwards.
Well done, Della.
Caitlin Grange again getting involved. Lucy Della goes up line. Oh, and a hammer dump across.
What?
Hannah Sears, perhaps?
That was not easy from Danny and Alexander. Yeah. That's a really hard read.
Lucy Della. Oh, and that inside is just cut off by 13 Monchi. And again, Mavericks have another opportunity. Oh! Rio just catching it on the doorstep, on the line of the end zone. See if they can tidy up, and a long sweeping swing across field, and that works out. I don't think Caitlin Grange it might have been who tried to go for the bid, but just half a step too late.
Yeah.
Mavericks
was it Monchi
10-6.
who had that D? It's another big celebration. They are acknowledging the crowd on the hill. They are up and about, and the Firetails, mate, they're positive. I think there's a little bit of frustration creeping in, but I think at the same time we've got to remember this is the very start of their campaign. They'll only go kind of uphill from here. But
I think they can be pretty happy with some of the fantastic plays, particularly the deep looks on offense.
Yeah.
Defense maybe just needing a little bit more chemistry before they solidify that and get a few more successful blocks.
Yeah, and Mavericks are making their own luck, but that throw, for example, Retan didn't know that throw had been released until it was sitting on her head. So, it's all working. As we see a little fur ball. Again, if you know the breed of that dog, I just call them small dogs. So if you've got knowledge that I don't, please drop it in the chat. I think it was Retan that absolutely baiting that throw that I think came from Della down the wing, just waiting for it. So, but that's the benefit of seeing a new junk. She'll be better for that next time, as we see the disc just come back in.
And we've got golden retriever and a large black one out the back.
Thank you. Lucy Della to you, to Ma. Ma's going to let one go. Has to double back a little bit, but we're going to see a goal. Rosa Wang, sorry.
Probably one of their cleanest offensive points for the Firetails this game.
Well, I'm wondering if... There are two ways the coaching staff could be approaching this. One is, we don't care about the score. We're talking about the structures. We're talking about our vibe. Don't care if we win 15-0 or lose 15-0. Alternatively, they could be treating this as a game situation where we go, right, guys, we've got 15 minutes left, which means we need quick scores and quick stops. Because that was, like you say, it was their most efficient, but it was a 4-pass offense. It was a quick offense. So I think depending on how we see them play their next offense, because we'll have about 4 minutes left, and I think they'll need 3 points. Yeah, 3 goals in 4 minutes. It might make things a little bit interesting.
Well, they're going to have to get a block here to actually have an opportunity on offense, but we'll see if the Mavericks can rifle through this one. Whether it might be a quick score, whether they're making use of the pinpoint long throws.
Well, I mean, look, if Cat can put this one in the end zone and someone feels like notching up a Callahan, that'll get me out on a chair. That'll make things just a little bit interesting. So come on, Cat.
Nice pull chase would be good.
Land it in. It is. It's coming back in.
Loopy lading huck. Pull, sorry.
Come on. Big foot block. Oh, and they're going to go.
Oh, pinpoint huck. Let's go. Oh, nice bid by Rico, but just a half a metre out of reach. I think the wind might be pushing it down a little bit like we saw in that previous point that Rosa had to double back for.
Yeah, but they're not giving up. None of the Mavericks players give up on the discs. Even if they're bidding after the disc is in the ground, it shows just their intent to not give up on anything.
All right. Jess Parks.
Yeah, she's having a good time. Oh, jeez. Now tell me that's not our mate from before either, please.
So that's not Hannah and it's not Rico. That's Luna, 72, who just copped it.
They're gonna come back with a few cuts and bruises from our poor girls.
You're gonna be wondering what happens in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Just a laser low throw to Rico to go up 11-7.
And that all but does it. Fantastic throw. I mean, respect to the Firetails players. It just looked like there was almost like a wave of Firetails players all bidding. We had at least 2, if not 3. So let's see.
Yeah, we go triangle there.
1, 2, 3. yeah. And Samar not far off.
Out the side as well. So, I mean, way to hold her nerve after copping a disc to the face. She still had good enough vision to pinpoint that target.
Yeah. And well done for the receiver as well. That's Rico. Because when you see bodies flying literally from left and right, that can distract you, and that perceived pressure can throw you off a bit. But she did very, very well.
Yeah, that's right. The blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
Well, and Rico, she was the one who copped the weight down the other end. So copping lots of bruises, but also making the scores happen.
making lots of scores. Well, she was probably owed one because Rico was probably in the box seat before. Was it you, Guy, who
Yes.
scored the goal? I think it was. Yeah. She's probably jagged it off her a bit. So all's well that ends well. So as we do edge towards time cap, I would like to thank everyone who helped put this this tournament together. I think Michelle Phillips and Kader, as well as the ULTI.TV team. I think some people from the Chile Ultimate Club have been involved in helping get the fields. Mike, Fausto, Rexy. It's been an excellent experience. Played in really good spirits right down to the last game. We do have one more game to come. It's been a great demonstration of the evolving skill of women's ultimate as we see a nice big hand block on cue. And they're going.
Oh!
I'm thinking it's Mavericks pulling out party tricks now. Going for style points. Lucy Della. Is that the far side? I think that's G on the far side. It works.
To you.
Now there's a little bit of give go.
Anna Rosler, you, Lucy Della. So not too far. Oh, Eunice showing that. Just bobs up out of her hands.
Yeah, that was not on either of those players. There, a gust. It's starting to get gusty, and it couldn't have gusted at a worse time. So that's a rough one. So Firetails doing really well to collapse and make the field small, and that's why you're going to see a stall 9 huck. 2 bids from Mavericks, and I think they're going to want to work this quick, and they do. The Firetails straight into it. Massive gainer under to Della, who throws the goal. That's Anna Rosler catching, so Della to Rosler. That will be it. The Tokyo Mavericks prevail over the Australian Firetails, albeit at the start of their campaign. So the only way is up from here for them as they commence their training camp this weekend. But even despite the score line, I think some really promising signs. Avril?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm really excited to see what the Firetails can bring in the rest of their campaign and on home soil. I think you always have that home ground advantage, so looking forward to what the future holds for the current team of Firetails. And well done to the Mavericks, really taking a badge of honour back home, defeating a national representative team. Hopefully that opens up more opportunities for the players. Oh,
well,
hang on,
we say this, but I think I overheard someone from the Firetails say this game's over when we say it's over. We are still playing. We are still playing. This is game on. So I will find out why, if it's game point or if it's score to win. But we're going to get some more ultimate here.
Ooh.
And I don't think anyone's mad about it. And Kara's Mar's not mad about it because she has pulled it basically to the end zone line. So, bonus points, bonus round. Looking on the inside. Excellent inside break, cracking bid. And now this one goes up, but it's too high. There are people under it. This is Simar. Oh, no, Satch at the back.
Mavericks pulls it down. Knocking on the door now. And just zippers one through to Luna.
Now it is game. So, well, take two. Yes, now it is game. I mean, it's just hard because there's such a celebration. And I don't know if you can pull out. Yeah, so we've actually got Chaos and Mavericks
mirroring the dance party. Very
doing
nice.
some kind of what was that? It was a High School Musical. What was the one where they all dance? Bring It On. Remember Bring It On from the mid-90s?
Oh, yeah,
it's probably
that's right.
Anyway, I don't know, it's probably been cancelled. But such is the enthusiasm of that Mavericks team. They would be absolutely elated. As Frey said, this is more than just an exhibition game for them. They get to go home saying, we took on some of the best in the world, albeit at the start of their campaign. and took it to them on the home deck. But for the Firetails, as we were saying before we got some free Frisbee, I think the Firetails have a lot to be happy about. Like we were talking about from a generational perspective, the team's really revolving around your Danny Alexanders and things for a long time. Sarah Wentworth, people like that. Whereas now, if you looked at the names that we were kind of calling, everyone played well, but the names that we were calling the most did seem to be your Karen Mars, your Lucy Dellas, Sally Yu, I feel like we called a lot, Olivia Carr, Caitlin Grange, Rosa Wang, G. So, you know, these are names, and Jessica Parks as well. These are names that are really emerging on the scene. They're younger players. They're players that we could keep in that representative system, not just for one campaign, but over multiple campaigns. So I don't know what the tone will be. I think maybe they'll be a tiny bit flat. It's always nicer to win than lose. But I think Steve and Amanda will still see a lot of potential to work with and further hone their skills over this weekend and in the months to come.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it just exemplifies how healthy Australian Ultimate is at the moment. When you've got all of these fantastic young crop of players who are challenging for spots, it just pushes everyone to really step up.
Correct. So that is it from us. We have one more game of the Tomodachi Invitational, and that will be
Chaos versus Spicy Chili.
Spicy.
Yes, my two clubs. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh well, I tell you what, I might sit back and have a tin then. If you can do all the heavy lifting, Avril, and I'll just ride shotgun. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Fantastic. All right, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thanks again to the tournament organisers for allowing such a fantastic exhibition game to be on. Got one more game that will be with you in 25 minutes. We'll see you all then.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
ULTI.TV